I grew up in a strict African family. For example, there is love in the family, but the love is very, very quiet. For example, our parents provide food for us, they provide clothing, they pay our school fees, they provide literally everything that we need. But they will hardly tell you that they love you. My son, you are doing good, you are doing great. Oh, I'm proud of you. Not that they can't say it, but they were not taught by their own parents on how to, how to say those things or how to appreciate you as a child. And you as a child, when growing up, like you don't understand all these things until you learn to grow up. For example, in our house, my dad is very strict. My dad is a lion. My mom as well is a lion and she's very, very strict. May her soul rest in peace. So before we get to speak up as child in our home, we first look at our parents. We first get to know their mood before even say anything or ask anything from them. For example, like if I want to say something now, I need to. If my parents are quiet, I will panic because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to say something that will cause trouble in the family. I just tend to hold my feelings back or whatever I have to say, I will hold it back. Now, after a few years later, as a man, then I grew up. Right now, I find myself in different rooms with different people. Everybody tends to air their voice, but I keep quiet. I chose not to speak. Not because I'm not confident enough to speak, but because growing up, I was taught to be what? To be quiet, to hold all things back to myself. You know, sometimes people yell, people freeze, like people yell and shout at me, but instead of reacting, I just tend to keep quiet. Not because I'm not confident enough to speak or say something, because all this boils down to where I'm coming from, the background, the upbringing. Now, mind you, I know you'll be thinking, oh, maybe my parents they are bad, or no, my parents are one of the amazing people. I'm proud of my dad. I'm proud of my mom as well. But these are all coming from the way they were trained. I was having a conversation with my dad. He was sharing his experience growing up and everything. Then I realized that the way they were trained, and it's still the same way they're also training their own child. For example, as a child growing up, as a young man growing up, it's very I would never have a conversation with my dad or sit down and have a conversation with him. But right now, as a man who is fully grown, I can pick up the phone and call my dad, hey dad, how you doing? We can have conversation like over the phone, or maybe when we are together, talk for a long period of time. But unlike before, I dare not. I dare not. And as someone who is coming from an African background, maybe someone who can relate to this, I believe you know what it is. So this is just more like a wake up call to parents. Learn to appreciate your child. Give them listening ears. Learn to know their worries. Become your child's best friend. This is how they open up things to you. Just to be frank with you guys, like to me, like to us, we are even more open to outsiders, to our own parents, because we are afraid of them. They are so strict. Not that they are monsters or they are wicked or maybe they don't care about us, but because of what the upbringing, how strict they are. All right. I know a lot of people who think that they are not enough. For example, even as a young man, I have to work twice as hard as I am, to make sure that for me to fill into some places, and which is not even normal. All these are things that we are taught. Like to us, it's not even about growing, it's about surviving. Like you as an African child where you are trained by your parents, like all you just focus on is what your parents try to train you so that when you grow up, you will what? You are prepared for what's coming. It's just more like they're preparing you ahead for survival, not even living. The way you are being trained, the way you are being talked to, it's more like they are trying to build you for you to survive the world you are being born in, where there is less love. Like, not that the love is not there, but it doesn't show. Like, it doesn't show. For example, I live here in Europe. I see how parents cuddle with kids, play with kids, and all of that. But when it comes to African homes, strict African homes, those things are not there. They provide food for you, clothing, pay schools, and that's all. Like when you try to say something, you are shunned at. When you try to air your views, like you'll be like, don't you have respect for elders? You are limited to air your views or to do a lot of things. I believe it's high time that those things change, because I feel like the world is changing. So a lot of people needs to adapt and also what evolve as well. Are you as maybe a young parent or maybe somebody who's trying to have kids later? You don't want to train that. You don't want to train your child on that same way I was trained that way, but that doesn't mean that I won't be strict to my child. Of course, I will, but at a level. Because right now, I know better and I tend to do better as well. For example, before, when someone is nice to me, I'm worried. It makes me feel uncomfortable because all this boils down to my background. People are not always nice. Like, parents are not nice to kids. Like, strict parents are not nice to kids. If they might be nice to kids, but in a different way. It's not just made openly that, hey, you are aware of it right from growing up. So when someone start being nice, like, sometimes you feel awkward, like you have this, like, oh, what's going on? Like, what did I do wrong? Or maybe, like, what is this? What is that? No, you start to question yourself. That's how I was feeling until then I realized that, okay, it's normal. This is how it should be. This is how it should be. My growing up doesn't have to affect, like, my living right now. I need to adjust, I need to adapt, I need to start, getting used to normal things, unlike what I was trained or on how I was, brought up back home. So if you're somebody who is feeling maybe I'm not enough, you feel like maybe this you have been through something, maybe you are going through something. Hey, I just want to let you know that this is something that is more like a wave, is going to pass. Definitely, everything, it makes up our brain. Imagine you as a child, like, you tend to express yourself to your family, like to your mom or to your dad, but you can't. And you grew up to 20 years, 21 years. Having all those steps, like having accumulated all these things from childhood, then to adulthood before you left your parents' house. Come on. It will be a little bit, it's going to be a journey on its own for you to actually get used to the outside world, get used to, changing a lot of things on how you are brought up. I know a lot of amazing parents back home that train their child well, their child is their best friend and all of that. But still, African parents, they are very, very strict. I know, because parents yells at kids, parents shout at kids, sometimes kids don't tend to reciprocate. Like, when they are talking, you don't talk. When elders are talking, that's how they say it. You don't talk, you just keep quiet. Whatever they say is right. Like, it's their word over yours. It's not even yours own word. So, like, all these things is something that I've seen a lot. And I've seen a lot of parents that are actually adapting and they're evolving, and which is good. So I believe you, as a parent who is watching this video, I wish that you tend to do better, because it's something that I believe it will help your child to be confident, to have this self-esteem, to speak up, to act like, to behave like, to, to integrate properly in the society we are in right now, and also in the modern world, on how it's evolving as well. So if you're somebody who's on this journey, please comment below. Tell me your thoughts and tell me, like, how you grew up, maybe as an African, or maybe how you were trained as well. Let's connect. And if this is your first time on this channel, comment you are new. Hey, my name is Omasi. Remember, this is Beyond Living by Omasi. It's not about you, it's about those behind you and those after you, right? So this is why this channel was actually created, to share views, to throw more light, but also express and share my experiences on my life journeys, how I got to where I am and who I am right now and who I am trying to become as well. All right. So guys, I will see you on the next one. Comment below if you have any doubt, if you have any questions, and subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up so that it be pushed out to the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace and bye for now. Ciao.